Hey everybody, Tim here from Chasing Trails Outdoors with a new episode of Gear Talk. Today we're going to be testing the Saker Mini Electric Chainsaw. This is a pretty cool device. I got it right here. Set up in my food bag. Basically what we're going to do is I'm just prepping this area for us to use it and getting some different logs, wood, stuff like that. The idea is we are in the field. And just like if you're on a four-wheeler or camping or whatever the case may be, we're just going to test it to see how it works in the woods. Now the big thing is, obviously it's a lithium-ion battery. I do not have a way to charge it, so once it's dead, it's dead. We're going to go over the instructions. We're going to go over the video. I'm going to show you how it cuts. We're going to just test it out. So before we get into this, guys, the instructions say we should definitely oil it. So to oil it, pull the guard up. I recommend you use gloves when you're doing this. This can be sharp. I forgot my gloves, so today we're going gloveless. I'm just going to add some oil across the top. Now, I'm going to hold in the button, and we're just going to pull this. See, it's locked when you don't push the button in, so you gotta push the unlock button. I'm just gonna run it through a few times, spreading the oil around. There we go. It's moving nice and easy now. Perfect. So that's oiled. Now that we got it oiled, put the battery in. All right, she's good to go. Now, before we get into the slicing and dicing, guys, let's take a look at some of the warnings. We see a couple of them on here. So the first one right here is on the back. It says, do not cut wood which is more than 4 inches. Do not overpress the machine when cutting wood. And when the machine is not used for a long time, please fully charge and then store it. Okay, great. And then there's another one here on the side, the caution sign. It says, no use by minors. Do not touch the guide plate with any limb, and it is forbidden to contact any part of the human body with the chain under the working slate, otherwise it will be injured. So basically it's saying don't cut up bodies with this. So I'm not going to be chopping up any bears or anything with this. Alright, so I got this piece of standing deadwood, piece of softwood. She's pretty solid. She's not going to fall over, so we're going to test this out. This is about 3 to 4 inches thick. It's about as thick as you'd want this to be. So let's try it out. Oh, that cut through nice and easy. So there's what the core looked like, guys. Pretty solid, as you see here. It is pretty solid. Now normally I would recommend that you have this steady, but give myself some. That jumps a lot because it's not steady and I don't like it. So you definitely want to steady that up. So this is some old maple. It's a little rotted right there. So I've got it up off the ground now, make it a little more stable. Well, it cut through the rotted stuff, no problem. No, don't like that. Not very safe. So when you're using the saw, okay, I intentionally used it in various different angles, trying to determine what causes the shake. So what I found is when I was further towards the tip, the saw and the wood would shake. But as I brought it closer to the body, and into the point that even if I put the body right on the wood, I found I got my maximum cutting ability right there like that. Now, I don't know if that is how you're supposed to use it, but this is how I used it, and that was how I managed to maximize my efficiency when I was cutting. 3 feet. I'll mark it right there. Let me grab my phone, and we're going to time this to see how long it takes for me to cut up. Roughly, piece is about 6 inches long. So, let's go stopwatch. And go. Oh, it is 30 degrees out today. Well, that 3 pieces took me 30 seconds to do. It's a lot faster. There we go. All right, let's continue. Last one. So that was 1 minute to do 3 feet, and all the pieces are about that size. Deadwood, she did all the way up. So one of the things that this saw is going to be used for, with a lot of people from what I read, is pruning. For older people who can't do the back and forth, this could be a really, really good option. So we're going to try this out right now. Ooh, that's got some nice fat wood right there. Which branch was that? So let's go over a couple of these little features here, guys. So you have, this is the trigger lock. You got to push that in before you can actually squeeze the trigger. It does have a plastic, pretty flimsy plastic hand guard, okay? That's going to keep, I mean, if something really heavy or really hard hits that, it'll probably break and hurt your fingers, but for the most part, most branches and twigs, it'll stop that. You've got a handy little hanger strap. The battery, just push it in, slide it off, no problem. As you can see, it doesn't work without it. Actually, we'll keep the battery out while we're looking at this. So this is the blade guard, right? So you can't, if you're falling on it, anything like that, it does come up, and so the blade comes through here. This is your lock nut for taking the blade off. It's a pretty simple little device. Taking the blade and trigger off, trigger guard off, or sorry, not trigger guard, but the blade guard and the blade off. Looks like it's going to be pretty simple with these screws. Just pop it off, put the new chain on, screw it back in, and away you go. So it is quite light, as I said, and yeah, it seems quite durable too. Like this doesn't feel flimsy. I mean, this part here feels flimsy. That's just the guard. But the device itself is very, very sturdy. I like it. And seems to have sufficient power to do exactly what it's designed to do. Pruning, small branches, small trees. I like it. It's definitely a very useful tool, especially if you're in the woods, if you're on a ATV trail or something and your trees falling down. I mean, obviously a bigger chainsaw helps you with the big trees, but any of the small stuff, this is great for cutting trail. Obviously, you're not going to use it too much around hunting areas, because unless it's like early spring or something like that, it makes a lot of noise. If you've got like a shoulder injury or something like that, or older people who just don't have the energy and the power to cut, the Saker mini chainsaw, guys. I like it. I do actually like it quite a bit. It's nice. It's dandy. Thank you very much for sending it to me. You're not going to be cutting very dense wood with it. I'll tell you that right now. It will take a while to do it, and it'll burn through your batteries pretty quick, I'm sure, if you were getting some dense wood. I was cutting maple about 2 inches thick, and it was about 10 seconds a cut. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Unlike a saw where you're just giving it back and forth. I mean, this cuts through it. If you were processing wood for a campfire, you're not going to be cutting big logs with it. Obviously, you use an actual saw or an axe or a chainsaw. But especially for like campers and hikers, you're sitting around the campfire, cutting up kindling, stuff like that. This is great for cutting the lengths out of sticks. Smaller trees, same thing. You can cut your lengths with it, and it'll work good. So it's a tool that has its uses for pruning, as you saw on the tree. I cut through the branches, no problem. Yeah, I mean, use it at your own discretion, guys. Be safe with it, and you should have no problems. But you'll probably find this to be a useful tool in your toolbox. So that's it for this episode of Gear Talk, guys. I hope that you found this video and the information within it useful. If you're looking at buying this product, they're found on Amazon. I don't know if they're found in stores, but I did find them on Amazon. And yeah, there's various different ones. You'll find a link to the website in the description of the video. And yeah, I hope that you really enjoyed this video, and I hope you found the information useful. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Gear Talk. Have yourselves a safe day.